G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You guys have probably already seen it from the title, the thumbnail, social media. NAE right now is going crazy. Yesterday's video I talked about how Reverse2k, Deyy and Mero had split up. A bunch of you guys were in the comments, Aussie, it's impression farm, no way this is real, how did you fall for this? It's real, and now we found out who is replacing Reverse2k, and it's none other than the World Cup solo champion, Bugha. So this has just caused a massive trickle-on effect to all the other teams. This is the snakening that I was expecting. This is when all the teams start to split, all the players start finding new teams. I'm gonna get to the bottom of which ones are real and which ones are fake and give my opinion and the players' opinions, because some of them have made statements on this, on why they split up as a team. I've also DM'd a lot of these players involved, so I know that the information I have is real. Also, we had the EU Cash Cup today. I want to break down the results of that. We had some really surprising results, and we had a lot of new teams pop off. So I'm excited to break that down. This is going to be a crazy video. Let's jump into it. Let's go back to where it all started. I talked about it in yesterday's video, but this all started because Reverse2k, Deyy, and Mero are splitting up, and this is 100% real. If they get back together, that's another thing. I don't think they are, but at this point in time, Reverse2k, Deyy, and Mero, the last FNCS champions on NA East, have split. Reverse2k tweeted out today, well, I'm looking for a trio, last 3 FNCS placements, first, fourth, and first. Now, a lot of the information that I'm going to cover in this is actually from a stream that Deyy did. Deyy went live on Twitch for about 30 minutes. I'll link the VOD in the description down below, explaining him and Mero's thought process on why they split up with the Reverse2k and clearing up the whole situation. I'd recommend you watch it if you guys want to, but I will kind of cover the main points and give you my thoughts and my interpretation on it. So, it looks like Deyy and Mero, and I think this is quite true, they came first, fourth, and first in the last 3 FNCSs. But as Deyy says, a lot of these performances came on the back of solo and duo clutches. Their first FNCS, he said they did really well as a team. That was possibly the most consistent they've played. But then outside of that, in the last 2 FNCSs, it came on the back of a lot of clutches by him and Mero at the very end, some of them by Reverse2k as well. But he just said they never really played well as a team when it came into endgame. They relied on a lot of early and mid-game aggression, a lot of eliminations, and he really wants to find a team that he can play consistent with and win games with, not just get high eliminations like top 10s. He wants to be able to get placement. He wants to learn to play better as a team. I was talking yesterday how I thought Mero's taking on a bit more of an IGL role these days. He's kind of leading the team as much, if not maybe more than Reverse2k, or Reverse2k does a bit of the tarping. Maybe I overstated that, because it looks like Mero agrees with Deyy that they want a pretty hardcore IGL, someone who's going to tell them what to do and lead them and get them into endgame as a full team, not just stopping Deyy from making stupid box jumping decisions, but genuinely lead them as a team. And now this has led them down the lines of playing with Bugha. And now my thoughts on this: Bugha's a really good fit for Deyy and Mero. I think he is. Bugha's a confident IGL. He's a player who's happy to step up and tell people when they've done something wrong or take command, especially of good players who also respect him. Some players are just not going to listen to other players unless they respect them. Deyy and Mero have to respect Bugha, and I guarantee they will listen to his calls, and I think they have a good chance at this right now. Bugha clearly wants to practice right now. He's in a competitive mindset. Deyy and Mero also really in a competitive mindset right now. They want to practice. They want to get better, and I can see this team working well. I also need to make sure that I make this statement, because a lot of people are talking a lot of smack on Deyy and Mero. A lot of people saying they're stupid for making this decision, saying they switched up, they're not loyal. I get it. First, fourth, first is ridiculous. It is crazy to think you'd split after that. But like Deyy and Mero said, the playstyle that's got them these wins is just not that consistent. I think a lot of people are saying that Deyy and Mero have an ego. You think you're too good for Reverse. What are you doing? I kind of got the opposite impression. I got the impression that Deyy and Mero know that the performances they've put up and the ridiculous clutches they've managed to do as a solo sometimes in these endgames, they can't keep doing. They don't want to go into the next FNCS knowing that if they don't make it to endgame as a full trio, they need to clutch up top 5s with 3 elims as a solo, or they're not going to place consistently. Time will tell whether it's the right decision. Maybe Bugha, Deyy, and Mero will do terrible and it will turn out to be a bad decision. We'll never truly know, and it is so unfortunate that it's always Reverse2k that's on the other end of this, and he's the one who just seems to, even after having 3 of the best placements of any team in the last FNCSs, maybe you could say Centered, Edgy, Commandments, 3 second places are better, but he's still found himself now without a team looking for a trio, and I hope he finds a good one. Not everyone agrees with me. I mean, we have obviously the Godfather himself, NRG Zate, coming out saying Mero and Deyy are brain dead, LOL. So it looks like Other players aren't agreeing with me, saying that I think it's a smart decision. We'll never know. We'll truly never know if it's a smart decision or not. I think it works well on paper. Deyy and Mero have gone to split with Reverse2k before. They then went on to win the FNCS again, so it's hard to say, man. But unless you're the players, all I want to make clear is I don't think Deyy and Mero are rushing into this decision. I think they've clearly thought about it. I don't think they're doing it to Reverse2k personally. They feel bad for him, but they're just doing what they think is best for their FNCS. And from the outside looking in, I can see where they're coming from. You guys might disagree. You could maybe think they're idiots for it, but I genuinely understand where they're coming from, and I guess we'll see how it goes. I'll talk about drop spots in a little bit, but I want to start off talking about the new team so you know who's playing with who before we talk about where they're landing. So, if Bugha's now playing with Deyy and Mero, that means Nosh and Avery are left without teams. Nosh has landed on his feet. He's gone back with Nut and Chucky. I talked about this in previous videos. I think they were a really good team last FNCS. I think they showed huge potential. They won a qualifying week. They won a game in the finals. I think they do have big potential as a team, so I'm happy to see them back together. This is very unfortunate for Eomzo. Again, I've been gassing up Eomzo massively recently. He did just win the NAE's Cash Cup with Nut and Chucky, and they've now dropped him to play with Nosh. But again, they're probably focusing up for their FNCS. I understand that. Eomzo's dominating Cash Cups right now and single day formats. We haven't really got to see Eomzo prove himself when it comes to stacked lobbies, so I get that decision. So, that leaves Avery, and now this is the big question mark, and this is the area where a lot of people on social media are getting confused. Pretty much everyone's in agreement that Bugha, Deyy, Mero is real, Nosh, Nut, Chucky is real, but now Avery's the question mark. Deyy said on his VOD that he thinks, and this is what he believes is happening right now, is Avery is going to go back with Stretch and Saf, hold on to their guaranteed qualification because they came third last FNCS, which leaves Khanada free to go play with Degen Ages, once again dropping Skittles, which is what happened at the start of this season. That is what a lot of people are saying, and I guess it's because Deyy talked about this as well, but I've actually reached out to and DM'd Stretch. Stretch said this is not true. And again, Stretch is one to impression farm. You know, he puts on an interesting persona on social media. You guys have probably seen his replies to a bunch of my tweets, but I'm pretty sure Stretch is being sincere here, and I don't see why Stretch would drop Khanada to play with Avery. Stretch was very clear that him and Avery have personality issues. Despite how good Avery is, they just don't get along well as a team. And if Khanada's happy to play with Stretch and Saf, I think almost any team in NA East right now would be happy to keep Khanada on their team. That's no disrespect to Avery. Avery's insane, but so is Khanada. And so far, Stretch, Khanada haven't really had a chance to play with Saf because Saf has been on holiday since 4th of July. He went back west to hang out with his family. So I think that team is very much still together. I think that is the one area where a lot of people on social media are getting it wrong. I think Degen Ages Skittles are going to stay together. I think we're going to see Saf, Stretch, and Khanada. I have no idea where Avery's going to go, and at this point, I can't help but feel bad for Avery, man. I've made this joke on stream. I don't know how many times Avery's going to get back with Bugha only to get snaked again. Like, I know the term snake gets thrown around a lot, and I know Bugha's just doing what's best for his FNCS. I talked about why I think that team works really well for Deyy and Mero, but I think it genuinely works well for Bugha as well. And I mean, their first performance in a Cash Cup together, it didn't look great. They didn't even qualify for DreamHack Cash Cup Extra. I mean, I was gonna make this joke yesterday. They got outplaced by Papa Jerry, and I love Papa Jerry, and no disrespect to my man. I was super excited to see him pop off, but he shouldn't be outplaced in World Cup champions. Like, it's just that simple. If Jerry's the next GOAT on the scene, I will be the first one to accept it, but Nosh was not showing up. Nosh, Bugha, and Avery were not performing to their standard, at least in the first tournament. Hopefully, I was thinking in time they'll do better. I was waiting for these next few tournaments, maybe the Cash Cup Extra, to see how other teams went, but overall, they didn't look the greatest, and whenever I watched them on stream, they were having their usual Bugha and Avery arguments. I never know whether they're joking, whether they're serious. They just always seem to argue a fair bit, so I think, honestly, all the teams have ended up really well off, except for Avery. I can't help but feel for my man. Other than that, pretty much everything else you've seen at this point is an impression farm. That's what all the pros I'm asking have said. Everyone else is not real. But let's talk about drop spots. Now, this one's interesting. You had Bucky come out and tweet Dirty Docs with Clicks and Mac. And people went crazy for this because they thought, oh my gosh, what does that mean about Deyy, Mero, and Bugha? Aren't they going to go Dirty Docs? What's happening here? Macwood came out and said, I'm not going Dirty Dogs. You people are brain dead sometimes. Stop assuming so much. So Macwood coming out and calling out his own teammate Bucky on the impression farm there. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at it, it looks like Bugha, Deyy, and Mero aren't going Dirty Dogs either. Bugha's actually said that they're going the Orchard and the house split, the satellite henchman house. I don't know about this one. Deyy said on stream that he wishes they were still going Dirty Dogs. He likes Dirty Dogs. They've now given up their qualification spot, so they're allowed to play qualifying weeks, so they can contest Dirty Dogs and hold it down and do well out of there if they want to. I mean, they don't have Reverse2k, but Deyy and Mero know how to play Dirty Dogs, and when you're talking about spawn fighting, let Deyy and Mero do what they do. Like, I feel like Bugha's the IGL. He's going to bring, you know, the game knowledge in. He's going to bring the leadership in, but when it comes to spawn, whatever Deyy and Mero have been doing works. Like, they win Dirty Dogs. So I'm surprised to see Bugha not taking that POI, because there's no really other major team that's going there for FNCS. Scoped was going there for a little bit in scrims, but he said he was only going there because that was going to be a drop they could go in FNCS, because Reverse2k, Deyy, and Mero couldn't go there because they already qualified. So I don't think there's any real major team that's going Dirty Dogs at this spot. I think they could have had it, but interesting to see. We also had Nosh, Nut, and Chucky claim the Kami split area, including the Henchman IO house right next to Retail Rose. So things are looking interesting there. Obviously, without any other major team swaps that I'm going to cover right now, because I'm still waiting for the dust to settle, all the other drop spots haven't really changed. Obviously, there's still going to be some other teams shifting and moving around based around this, but these are the main ones I wanted to cover now until we see what the official teams are over the next few days with tournaments and scrims and all that. Moving off from NAE, so we're heading over to EU. We had the Cash Cups today, and yes, I did wake up at 1 a.m. to watch it. It was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it. Again, if you guys are liking the viewing parties, I appreciate you so much, showing love on all my other socials as well. I will be live for the DreamHack Cash Cup Extra for EU and NAEs today when you watch this video. So whenever the EU and NAEs tournaments are on your time zone, I will be live, twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. But this tournament was interesting. It started off with a 1 hour delay, which again, after getting up at 1 a.m., it's okay. It's okay. It was 1 hour delay. It wasn't canceled, and it was for a very good reason. We have the new weapon in Fortnite, the Moo. I don't even know what this thing's called. It's the giant inflatable cow, basically. It had so many glitches, so I want to talk about it. Firstly, the reason it was disabled is because there was literally a bug that made you invincible. You couldn't be shot, you couldn't be killed, just invincible. And there was another bug that made you invisible. You just could not be seen, and you could just rotate around the map and no one could see you. So there was two very game-breaking bugs, and that is why this item was disabled. I actually believe that it's gonna stay in competitive, and I kind of like it. I didn't have enough time to play around with it and test it out because it got vaulted so quickly, but I watched a bunch of videos and I actually got to see Benji Fishy get this item in-game in the tournament, because despite it's supposed to be vaulted, it was still being sold from Rick for 25 gold. So if you guys don't get how this item works, it's basically kind of like a baller. It's an item that you have, you can use it and turn it off whenever you want. It has a certain amount of charges, kind of like a jetpack, and the way it works is you turn into a giant inflatable cow, and it protects you and you bounce around. And I know that might sound crazy. Aussie, this is basically just ballers. It's going to be broken. It only has 25 health. You shoot it once and it instantly breaks, and you take fall damage when you fall out of it. So if you try to go for some crazy rotate offer, like hit a crash pad, hit like a launch pad or go off the spire like I'm seeing a bunch of other people do, if you get shot out while you do that, you're gonna die. If you try to use it to rotate endgame and like bounce down a giant mountain, chances are someone shoots a single bullet at you, it pops and you die. So this is kind of the item I've been looking forward to. It's a fun item. It's new. It seems pretty well balanced. I don't see it affecting Trio FNCS that much, because just having one of them isn't going to affect your team that much. Maybe if someone goes to Rick Sanchez, the NPC, he sells them for 25 gold. Maybe you can buy one each for your team, or maybe you just find 3 because you find them out of chests and you can use them, but I don't see them being that good in trios. I would not give up meds or a sniper rifle for them in trios, but in solos and arena, I think they'll be pretty fun. I genuinely think Epic's added a pretty balanced, good item. Like, yes, there's clips of people rotating across the entire map with them off launch pads. They could maybe fix that and maybe make it you can't use them on launch pads. Or again, like I said though, if you try to do that in a solo Cash Cup and one kid sitting in a bush just bop, and now you fall and die. Like, I don't know whether the risk is going to be worth it. So I'm excited to see how this item goes and how it affects competitive. It'll at least be really fun in pubs. And I know you guys have been saying in the comments, Aussie, you're seeming more negative at the moment. I want you guys to know it's genuinely just because I just don't think there's been enough added to this new season, and everything that was added was taken out. When Epic adds an item like this, and I think it's a good idea and I agree with it, I'm going to show them love for it. I think this is a well-made item. Of course, when you have an item like this, people are going to find glitches. If they can fix the glitches, I'm really excited to see how this goes. Breaking down the EU leaderboard, we had Floki, Clement, and Deceptos come in first on 222 points. They clutched up their last game on the back of Floki. He did so insanely well. They got an 11 elim second place, and that secured the last few points to get a first over Rescard, Endretta, and Savage. And now, all credit to Rescard, Endretta, and Savage here. They have been popping off the last few days. They just came second on EU, getting $600, and 10th on NAE, getting $270. So they're looking really, really good right now. They are looking insane in cash cups and in set lobbies as well. Again, we had Floki, Clement, and Deceptos get 86th on NA East. They were right up there at one point, but fell off the pace towards the end. But right now, we've got some really, really consistent teams out of EU doing well on NA East and EU. And I know I was talking yesterday about how a whole bunch of EU teams were placing on NA East. At one point, they were top 3. We actually had not a similar story, but NA East tried to clap back a little bit. We had D-Roller, Duke, and Chimp at one point in first place on EU, ended up finishing in 9th place overall. But right now, Duke and D-Roller are looking really good. Obviously, Chimp as well, but Duke actually placed in NA East and NA West Cash Cups yesterday as well. So my man's popping off here as well. So there's a few teams that are able to do it across multiple regions. I mean, obviously, EU's getting the last laugh in most of these situations. They are actually kind of showing up a little bit bigger, but a lot of people argue that EU's before NA East. Pros don't want to wake up. You can say what you want, but right now, it's pretty cool to see. I like the fact that the cash cups aren't region locked. A lot of people have been complaining about that. I think if someone wins a cash cup on your region or beats you on a higher ping, that's fair game. When it comes to set lobbies, it's a different story because sometimes players just start griefing because they don't care about the tournament. That affects games, and I get that is frustrating. But in a cash cup, fair's game's fair's game. I don't think cash cups should be region locked. We also had Forzia, Tayson, and Nate coming in third place. They clutched up big. Their third last game being a 14 elim win, and their last game being a 15 elim win. So they really stepped up to jump back in there as well. We had Rezumi's team up there. We had Seti's team. We had Paco's team. We had Dittrix. We had Zeddy Fanboy. We had, again, NA East. We had Bloomadil. So we had Bloomy's team as well. We had Edison up there. Again, if I get any of the names wrong, I'm sorry. I promise you, I'm watching the EU Cash Cups. I'm getting my EU knowledge up there as well. We had Decide. We had Kiriachi's team up there as well. We had some of the names you'd expect as well. We had Endelix show up in 15th place overall. So we had those big names. We had DGen Ages and Skittle show up in 21st. So NA had a few placements up there, and overall it was a really, really good tournament. But as a result of this, we have another big team change on EU. I've been talking all about NA East. We do have Letshe yet again without a team. And man, this is just a brutal one, man. To the point where even at the end of it, Letshe tweeted out, are there any good NA trios? I could go to NA maybe. Like, this man is desperate right now, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know why Letshe has to be desperate. It just seems like he's an insane player who maybe doesn't work well with teams, but he just keeps finding himself getting dropped last minute and without teams. He said, so just to make it clear, last season I didn't place because my account got deactivated, and 5th season I didn't qual because Savid's last game crashed in finals, and now I got effed over and we played for 3 weeks prac every single day. He said, LFT, I don't really give an F, just get me on high and I bully everyone. Like, again, man, it's so hard. After the tournament, before he got dropped, yeah, Letshe tweet out, shit happens, we done as well a few mistakes, and I really can't change stuff like this, so I just move on, gonna chill for the rest of the day. And then my man gets dropped yet again, so I don't know where Letshe is gonna end up. Again, I want to start talking about some of these other big teams. You guys are probably wondering what's going on with Metro's team, what's going on with Mongrel's new team, Benji's new team. I'm gonna wait until the Cash Cup extras happen today. Like I said, I'm gonna be watching those to then do another recap looking at a lot of those teams, because I've now had a lot of time spent in these videos talking about the new teams and the snakening. I really want to dedicate a longer video breaking down some of the new teams, how they placed in multiple regions, multiple tournaments, and get a better snapshot rather than just one Cash Cup on each of their regions. I just want to add this in here. It looks like Letshe went back and deleted a few of those tweets. He still left up his looking for trio tweet, so I'm guessing that part's real, but maybe not considering moving to NA. And I don't know why he deleted the one about his placements, because I think that's fair to point out from him. But I just wanted to put this in here because I don't normally talk about tweets when people delete them. If they don't want to talk about it, they move on from it. But I think Letshe is still looking for a trio, and I think his tweets were pretty fair, but I guess maybe he jumped the gun talking about going to NA. But I just thought I'd include that in case maybe Letshe isn't looking for a trio and he's just left that one tweet up. I just want to make sure that's clear. Alright guys, that does it for another video. Tournaments are back. I hope you guys are loving the news videos. I've had a lot to talk about. I'm really enjoying making these again. Like, nothing is better than tournament season for me. So if you're liking the content, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts about anything I talked about today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.